Hello students, welcome back. In the last session we have studied visibility controls in Java. There are three important visibility controls or access modifiers: public, private and protected, which we have studied in the last session. In today's session we will discuss one more important concept in Java, that is interfaces. As we know, Java is object oriented programming language where everything is uh, determined in terms of objects. To create objects, as we know, we need to define a class first. Like the concept of class, Java also have one more concept called as interface. Now interface is similar to class, but interface do not include the implementation details. Now as interface do not include implementation details, that means the interface hides the implementation details from the user. That simply means interfaces provides the real abstraction, means where the implementation details are hidden from the end user, whereas the implementation for the interface needs to be provided by the classes which inherits the interfaces. As I've said, interfaces do not include implementation details. Interfaces only provides the skeleton, whereas the implementation details needs to be provided by the classes which inherits the interfaces. So in today's session we will discuss how an interface is created and inherited in Java. So let's start. A large number of real life applications require use of multiple inheritance, whereby we inherit methods and properties from several distinct classes. In many real life applications, we need to inherit from multiple different classes. That is called as multiple inheritance, inheriting from multiple different sources. But as you know, Java doesn't support multiple inheritance. Means in Java you cannot inherit from multiple different sources, but Java does provide an alternate approach. So it does provide an alternate approach, and this approach is called as interface. Means in Java we cannot inherit from multiple classes, but we can implement more than one interfaces. So in Java you cannot inherit from multiple different classes. Multiple inheritance is not allowed in Java, but we can inherit from multiple interfaces, that is allowed in Java. Now you can see in the diagram the same thing has been shown. So if we have one interface, so different classes can inherit this interface, and to inherit an interface the classes use a keyword called as implements. Now we have come across one more keyword which is used to inherit. The earlier keyword which is used to inherit, it was extends. Now when to use extend and when to use implements? Whenever one class inherits from another class, then we have to use the keyword that is extends. Remember, if a class is inheriting from interface, now you can see here the class, every class is inheriting from interface, then the keyword implements is used. Okay, so if a class is inheriting from interface, keyword implements is used. If a class is inheriting from another class, then keyword extends is used. Okay, defining interface. How an interface is defined in Java? as we have studied, interface is similar to class, but it defines only abstract methods and final fields. This is important. Interface includes only abstract methods and final fields. We have studied about abstract methods in the previous session. So abstract method, it is a method without body or method without implementation. So interfaces only includes abstract method, means the methods which do not have a body. Such methods are part of interfaces. Whereas the variables, interface contains only final variables, that means the constants. Okay. There are some exceptions to this. As per the new version of Java, that is 1.8, there are some updates which have been included in Java. So as per 1.8, the updates like the interface may also contain the method which may include some implementation, but that method has to be a default method. So we can have some default methods in interfaces which may contain implementation detail, but we will not go through the detailed concepts of interfaces. We will only concentrate on basics of interfaces. Okay. So interface do not specify any code to implement these methods, and data fields only contains constants. It is the responsibility of the class that implements an interface to define the code for implementation of these methods. Like I have said, interface do not include implementation details, whereas the implementation details are provided by the class which inherits the interface. Okay, let us look at one simple syntax of interface declaration in Java. So the syntax is the keyword interface. Again, so I here it has to be small, remember. So I is small. Interface, then the name of a interface, like we define class name, same way interface name. Then we have a body of interface which is defined by flower bracket open and flower bracket close. Inside this we can have variable declaration and method declaration. As we have seen, variable declaration means our variables in interface can only be final variables, that means constants, whereas methods can be abstract methods. So interface only includes abstract methods and final fields, remember. Okay, let us look at example how variables and methods are declared in interface. Now first, the variable declaration in interface. Variable declaration is like this: static final type, then the name of a variable is equals to the value. Now as we have already studied about static keyword, it is used to create class variables. Now all the variables in the interface are by default static, remember. Even if you do not declare it as static final, the variables are by default static final. So as per syntax, it is static final. Type means this is the type of variable, like integer, float, string. So type of variable, and the variable name, it can be any name, and the value which you want to assign to the variable. So this is how a variable needs to be declared in interface. Whereas method declaration, so method declaration in interface, it is like this: return type, the value which is written by the method, name of the method, and the parameter list. So list of parameters, and method is terminated, this is important, it is terminated by a semicolon. There is no flower bracket open and flower bracket close in the method, remember, because methods in interface do not contain body, these are abstract methods. So we can even include a keyword abstract before this, that is abstract, then return type and method name. But even though we do not have a keyword abstract, by default the methods which we declare inside the interface are abstract method. Okay, look at one example now. So we have interface, the name of an interface is item. Okay, then inside this interface we have some fields, you can see some variables are declared, static, final, int. We have a variable name as code which is having a value 1001. Now we have declared one more variable, static final string, the type here it is string, name is equals to fan. So two variables, constants, remember, have been declared in this interface, and it also contains a method, that is void return type, the method name is display. And if you look at this method is terminated by semicolon, so there is no flower bracket open and close. So this is how an interface needs to be declared in Java. Okay, as we know, the interface do not include the implementation details, that is the behavior, and you may feel, if a interface do not have a behavior or the implementation, what is the use of an interface? Now the interface, as it do not provides the implementation details, it provides, or interface actually provides the abstraction. Abstraction means the details are hidden from the user. It only provides the required things, that is the method names which are accessed by the user, but the implementation details of these methods are provided by the class. So real abstraction is provided by the interfaces in Java, where the implementation details or execution logic, it is hidden from the user. Okay, whichever class wants to inherit the interface needs to provide the implementation for it. So when a class implements a defined interface, it has to implement in the sense it has to write the code, that is execution logic, for all the methods, remember, all the methods defined by the interface. The class is free to define more methods if necessary. Now, as I've said, if a class is inheriting an interface, the class needs to compulsorily provide implementation for all the methods which are there in the interface. The class can have its own methods apart from the methods from the interface. If a class do not provide the implementation of all the methods from an interface, the class itself needs to be declared as abstract. Remember this. If a class is not providing implementation of all the methods from an interface, the class itself needs to be declared as abstract. Now look at this example. Suppose we have a interface music player, and this interface includes two methods, on and off, and these are abstract methods. And consider we have a class mp3 player, and if you look at this class mp3 player, it is implementing the interface music player, or you can say this mp3 player, it is inheriting music player. As mp3 player is inheriting music player, mp3 player needs to redefine both the methods, that is method on and method off, in mp3 player. So these methods on and off are redefined in mp3 player, as well as mp3 player is also having its own method, that is add music method of its own. So as I have said, interface do not provide the implementation, but the class which inherits the interface, like here the mp3 player, provides the implementation for methods like on and off. So here it should have a flower bracket open and flower bracket close, that is the implementation for both the methods on and off. Okay, that's it in today's session. We will continue our discussion of interfaces even in the next session. Today we'll stop here. Thank you.